Вот президент Обама упомянул об одной из угроз, это ИГИЛ. Ну а кто помогал вооружать людей, которые в Сирии боролись с Асадом-то? Кто создавал благоприятный политический информационный климат? Кто подталкивал к поставкам оружия? А вы чего, разве вы не понимаете, кто там воюет? Там воюют наемники. В основном. Вы знаете, что там платят деньги. И они воюют там, где платят больше. Вот они вооружились, им платят определенную сумму. Мне даже называли эти суммы, которые им платят. Они там воюют уже с оружием, все, у них уже не отнимешь. Потом выяснилось, что в другом месте чуть-чуть начали побольше платить. Они там туда перетекут. Вот.
You know how ISIS puts its prisoners in orange jumpsuits? The U.S. chose them. More specifically, the CIA did. They didn't have to. They didn't immediately do it either. It wasn't actually their first choice. There was a moment in time when it could have gone either way. But ultimately, they chose the orange jumpsuits. And it happened back in 2002. It started when President Bush signed a secret order on September 17, 2001, just days after the towers fell, that gave the CIA the new power to capture and imprison terrorists with Al-Qaeda. But the order didn't say where the CIA should hold them. And it didn't say how they should go about questioning them. Bush's order was super vague. So CIA officials started scrambling as to how to proceed. And at first, they had pretty law-abiding ideas. They wanted to make prisons that offered the same rights and protections granted in normal American prisons. They envisioned U.S. supermax prisons just overseas. And in them, they planned to follow the U.S. Army Field Manual for Interrogations, which prohibits torture. They knew they didn't have prison experience, so the CIA actually wanted to use the Federal Bureau of Prisons to help them run the overseas prisons where they could hold any suspected terrorists they caught. That's documented in a memo called the Approval to Establish a Detention Facility for Terrorists. And they reached out to Defense Secretary Rumsfeld, too, to have the Pentagon help them set them up. They were considering holding the prisoners on military ships, anything. But Rumsfeld refused to help the CIA, and the Bureau of Prisons wasn't helping either, so the CIA was left to figure it out. They scrambled for 6 months trying to figure out what the hell to do, issuing memos and presentations, getting nowhere. And then, in March of 2002, they caught their first suspect in the war on terror, Abu Zubaydah. They had to make a choice at that point. There was no more time for messing around. And that's when they chose to make black sites with orange jumpsuits. And the course to torture was set. As former FBI agent Ali Soufan told the New York Times, imagine if we didn't go down that road. We played right into the enemy's hand. Now we have American hostages in orange jumpsuits because we put people in orange jumpsuits.
There are no graphic images in this report. I want to point out a few things here. A lot of people that are trying to do videos on this are getting their videos brought down, I think because they're showing the actual blood of jihad video that ISIS has put out. I want to point out just one key thing here. And I want you to make note of this individual right here. They're down inside this bowl out in the desert. You can see the same individual here. And you can see the same individual right here. This is the new ISIS training video, and as you can see, they're going through this obstacle course, but there's a huge red flag that gives it all away. No longer should anybody wonder.
Don't support the phonies. Support the real. You know what I mean? How can these people be talking about how they so real and they don't care about our communities? How can they be talking about what they, all this, you know, the hood, blah, 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 blah. They don't care about our communities. You know what I mean? Listen to the words that people say in their lyrics.